about to film this, the border spreads here in the Northeast, where it's like 15 degrees and there's snow on the ground. Now, I'm a big baby, and I absolutely hate the cold. You know who I have something in common with? That ass clown, Tua Tagovailoa, and his team, the fraud-ass Miami Dolphins. How about that on Saturday night? Getting 4.5 against the Kansas City Chiefs. The game starts, and they look like they'd rather be anywhere else, including 1-2-3, Cancun. Great performance by the Dolphins on Super Wildcard Weekend. That was my favorite bet of the weekend. Miami looked like they didn't even want to get out of bed in that game against Kansas City. But you know what? Despite Miami not getting the job done against the Chiefs, a 3-3 Super Wildcard Weekend for your boy. And if we can be honest, it's really 3-2 because the over in that Philly-Tampa game, did I even really like it? Maybe. But you know what? We'll call it 3-3, Super Wild Card Weekend. So now with the winning week, divisional weekend in the National Football League, we will be returned to our winning ways in the year of our Lord, 2024, here on the Board of Spreads, presented by BetMGM, the king of sportsbooks. Download that BetMGM app. Visit BetMGM.com. Nick Kostos here with you to give you the winners for the best weekend in sports. Now look, NCAA tournament's awesome. We absolutely love the tournament. Opening weekend of the tournament is great. There are sports weekends in October where we've got basically every single sport happening. NFL, college football, we got the baseball playoffs, we got preseason and some other sports. It's absolutely awesome. So yes, there are great weekends in sports. None compare. All pale in comparison to divisional weekends in the NFL. The last weekend with more than 2 games in the NFL calendar until September. So let's enjoy it, let's soak it in, and let's win some damn money coming up on divisional weekend. And before we give you the picks, of course we pay homage to the Board of Spreads. Board of Spreads, be kind to us on this high holy weekend on the sports calendar. Divisional weekend in the National Football League. And we will begin. Oh, baby, I can't wait for this matchup as we come full circle because week 1, back in September 2023, the Baltimore Ravens hosted C.J. Stroud and the Houston Texans. Now, Houston was down a bunch of offensive linemen in that game, inclement weather in that game. Baltimore ends up winning that game 25-9. And coming out of that game, we're all thinking, oh man, Baltimore is good, just like we all expected. And we were also thinking, man, Houston's awful. And maybe C.J. Stroud actually isn't that good. We were all incorrect because Houston's really good and C.J. Stroud is on pace to be a top, 5 to 7 quarterback in the NFL? Is that hyperbole to say that? The guy's unbelievable. Almost like a 21st century Dan Marino. I'm not saying he's as good as Marino. He's going to be as good as Marino, but the ball explodes out of his hands. The way that he elevates his teammates around him. Nico Collins was like a curtain-jerking jabroni, and now he's Randy Moss with C.J. Stroud throwing him the football. Such is the greatness and the power of C.J. Stroud. And now Houston rolls into Baltimore like they did in week number 1, but this time they get a rested Baltimore team coming off the bye. I guess that's Baltimore's rested the whole offseason, but you get the point. Baltimore's rested. They're coming off the bye. Baltimore's feeling really good. 1 seed in the AFC. Lamar Jackson about to win his 2nd MVP award. Now on track to be a Hall of Famer is Lamar Jackson, but he needs that Super Bowl ring, obviously, to cement his legacy. And now we see the Ravens here, a 9-point home favorite against C.J. Stroud and the Texans, total 43.5. Now, if you're smart, if you're astute, if you pay attention, you'll see this total and think, what the hell's going on here? We got Lamar on one side, C.J. Stroud on the other, and we like Baltimore's defense. Their head coach, Michael McDonald, great singer also. He's going to be a head coach at some point, maybe even in this coaching cycle. DeMeco Ryans might be the coach of the year, really good defensive coach. So we like the defenses in this game, but really? Lamar and Stroud, total 43.5. Now, the reason, as always, is weather, obviously. It's either that or injuries. So weather is the reason why. So we're taping this on Wednesday morning. Again, freezing in the Northeast, it's Wednesday morning. So maybe by the time we get to Saturday, this is the first kickoff, the first game of the weekend, Saturday afternoon. Maybe by the time we get to Saturday, the weather's not going to be terrible in the game. The wind's not going to be blowing, in which case this total's way too short. But right now, we are expecting there to be wind in the forecast, upwards of 25 miles per hour at the time that we record this. That's why this total's come down, is because of concerns about the wind. So it'll be up to you, the viewer of this, right? You watch this on Thursday, you watch this on Friday, you watch it on Saturday. Literally all you have to do, you don't have to be freaking Sam Champion, Al Roker weatherman. You literally Google weather Baltimore Saturday and see what comes up. And if it's like winds 10 miles per hour and it's not really that bad and the total is still this, you can bet the over. Not that you're going to win, but you'll be getting the best of the number and you should feel really good about that. So that's the total of the game as it sits right now. So I'm going to like the over. If we get to Saturday and the weather's not bad, this total is going to be way too short. I expect it to go up. Now, as for the point spread goes, look, This is how sports betting content works. You get some schmuck like me or other people, and they will come on camera. They will it's like here, I'll be in like my mother's basement with my iPhone camera giving you 30 seconds on the first period over in the Kraken Kings game. What the hell do these people know? Look, anyone that's going to tell you that anything's a lock this weekend or any weekend is an absolute liar, a fraud, a charlatan, and a carny. Look, these point spreads, divisional weekend, we get into the NFL playoffs, these point spreads are right on target. All these games are really difficult. With that being said, I like all three games better than this one. If I had to bet this game with the side, the spread is perfect. Baltimore in between 7.5 and 9.5, currently out of teaser range, which would be 8.5 to tease Baltimore down to under 3 at -2.5. If that happens, by the way, and Houston money comes in and we get the opportunity, Baltimore -8.5, to tease the Ravens down to -2.5 with Kansas City up to +8.5 or Detroit down to basically win the game against Tampa, then I would like that. But if the spread's going to be 9, I don't know. I guess I would lean towards taking the points with the Texans, but you could also talk me into the Ravens winning this game by double digits. So you put me on the spot here, make me pick the point spread. I'll say Baltimore is able to win the game by 10 points, but I wouldn't be shocked if CJ Stroud keeps them inside the number here. My preferred play will be over the total again if we get to Saturday, and the win's not going to be bad coming up in Baltimore. Oh man, I can't wait for this game Saturday night. Niners and the Packers. Since the 90s, the 49ers have been shoved in the Green Bay Packers in a locker in the postseason. Just think back to the last couple years. What about 2019, the first Kyle Shanahan team that was really good in San Francisco? Raheem Mostert goes for 9,000 yards in the NFC Championship game, and they send Aaron Rodgers and those voodoo Packers who sucked that year and made the NFC title game, they send them home. You got the couple Colin Kaepernick games, obviously, with San Francisco against Green Bay. Steve Young to Terrell Owens before T.O. absolutely lost his mind. Shout out to T.O., one of the best receivers of all time in the 90s. And then a couple years ago, Green Bay's the number 1 seed, most likely team in the NFC to make the Super Bowl. San Francisco goes in there on a Saturday night and wins on a last-second Robbie Good-as-gold field goal to win the game. And so now, with Rodgers gone and Favre gone and Jordan Love now at quarterback, how delicious would it be for fans of the Green Bay Packers if after all these Niners quarterbacks, Garoppolo, Young, who else? Is that it? That might be it. But that may be it. Garoppolo, Young, Kaepernick, etc. After all the dominance the Niners have had over the Packers in the postseason, if Jordan Love was the one to make it happen, to break the curse and send the Niners packing this time. San Francisco, 9.5-point favorite in the game total is 50.5. So the spread is big, obviously. Why is that? Green Bay's on a short week. Remember, they played on Sunday and beat Dallas. So now this game's on a Saturday. Niners not only had the week off for the bye, but also sat a lot of their key players in Week 18 against the LA Rams. They wrapped up home field advantage in Week 17, the San Francisco 49ers did. And that's why you've got the point spread sitting what it is. Now, a couple things that we need to watch here as we approach the weekend. Number one, the health of Green Bay Packers cornerback Jair Alexander. Had an interception last week at Dak Prescott, tweaked his ankle, left the game. Maybe he'll be good to go. We'll see. Also, Packers wide receiver Christian Watson. He played last weekend against Dallas for the first time since Week 13, only had 1 catch for 9 yards. Still looks a little hobbled by that hamstring. Does he get a full week of practice? Is he going to be off the injury report? That would make you feel better about the Green Bay Packers offense, obviously, coming up in the game. And the other thing that we need to figure out is the weather coming up on Saturday night in San Francisco. And if you're out there, if you're watching this right now and you're like, man, I hate all this stuff about the weather, great. Go find a new hobby. Go play a video game or something. Get on the treadmill, eat a salad, improve your life. We have to talk about the weather in these games because it impacts the sides and the total. So we are expecting potential heavy rain on Saturday night in San Francisco. For what it's worth, the total hasn't moved. It's been 50.5. It remains 50.5. So maybe some optimism that the offenses are going to be fine in this game, but just something to monitor as we approach Saturday. I'm trying to give you the best betting information that I can. All right, so we get to Saturday, and the game is not compromised by the rain, the wind, the weather, whatever. Love does not stink. Yeah. I'll tell you what, man. I understand that Brock Purdy won a couple. This is not even going to be an anti-Brock Purdy thing. I think he's really good. Brock Purdy played a couple good playoff games last year, and then obviously blew his elbow out early in the NFC Championship game against the Niners. Let's see how he does in this spot here against an awesome offense with Jordan Love and the Green Bay Packers. There's a case to be made And I'm not even necessarily making this case because he's not the best quarterback. He really isn't. I mean, look at the 4 quarterbacks in the AFC versus the 4 in the NFC remaining here, right? But there is a real case to be made that over his last 9 games, Jordan Love's playing the best football out of any quarterback in the National Football League. Again, he's not the best quarterback, but he might be playing the best right now and authored that sensational performance that sent Dallas home and likely means that Bill Belichick or Mike Vrabel or someone else will be the next head coach of the Dallas Cowboys as Mike McCarthy looks to drown his sorrows in a bacon cheeseburger. So adios, Mike McCarthy, and adios to the Dallas Cowboys. So Jordan Love was so awesome last week. And now what do we think? He's going to go into San Francisco and he's going to get bulldozed by this Niners defense. And I like this Niners defense, but I love the Green Bay Packers right now. So I do think the 49ers will win the game. I do like San Francisco to win. I'd be shocked if they lost. San Francisco's going to run it up on this Packers defense in a way that the Cowboys couldn't until garbage time. So San Francisco's going to score, but I think Green Bay can score also. Aaron Jones, 281-330-8004. Aaron Jones has been awesome. Remember, he missed a lot of the regular season, so now he's really fresh. He looks great, and they're going to have a full complement of weapons here. I think the Packers can stay inside the number. Give me Green Bay to cover the spread, and if we get to Saturday and the weather's not looking bad, I don't know how this game stays under the total. The Packers and the Niners on Saturday night. All right, we'll move to Sunday now. Oh, man, how the hell? What is this? If someone would have told you this, that this would be, I guess Detroit's not that. Tampa in the divisional round, good for Todd Bowles, good for Baker Mayfield, Jason Light, incredible performance by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers this year, taking it to the hideous, pathetic Philadelphia Eagles on Monday night. Nick Sirianni, great first name, missing some brain cells. Terrible head coach. Maybe he's on his way out now in Philadelphia. The Bucs dominating them on Monday Night Football. So now we get Detroit coming off the heart-stopping win on Sunday night. By the way, you've been watching football for a long time like I have. It's one of the best wild card games in my lifetime. That's a heart-stopping game on Sunday night with Detroit squeaking past Matthew Stafford and the Rams 24-23. So we know the crowd is going to be at full throat here. The crowd is going to be absolutely bloodthirsty, like the actual Roman Coliseum where lions ate human beings. Now they'll attempt to eat or bite the kneecaps off Buccaneers. So Detroit, a 6.5-point favorite over Baker Mayfield and the Bucs. The total in this game is 48.5. Now, some people will point to the regular season meeting between these teams in Tampa, where Detroit's defense smothered Tampa Bay's offense, and Detroit did enough on offense to win the game by margin. So, and Tampa did nothing on offense in that game. And now we've got a total of 48.5 because the thought is, now that Baker Mayfield's rolling, Dave Canales, the offensive coordinator, he's one of these guys, by the way, if they show him on the sideline, he's got a great jawline. He's the kind of person I'd like to punch in the face because he's more handsome than me. He'd probably kick my ass. But just saying, Dave Canales, handsome, great jawline. Dave Canales might be an NFL head coach. He's calling all the right plays. Mike Evans looks good. Chris Godwin looks good. Cade Otton looks good. Rashad White looks good. So optimism in Tampa Bay's offense. Here's the problem. How the hell is this Tampa Bay Buccaneers defense slowing down this Detroit Lions offense, coordinated by the great Ben Johnson, who as soon as Detroit is either wins the Super Bowl or is eliminated, is going to be introduced as the next head coach likely of the Washington Commanders, and the Commanders will have made a grand slam hire if and when that happens. Ben Johnson, an absolute maestro and a monster as an offensive coordinator for Detroit. So point spread wise here, do I think there's anything wrong with this number? No. I made the game 6.5. I think the point spread is perfect. Detroit favored by a little less than a touchdown. If I had to bet the game, I would lay it with Detroit. We are restoring the roar here in this game. I have more faith in Detroit's offense to roll it up on Tampa than I do Tampa to keep this game close. So Detroit minus the 6.5, but the thing I'd like to do the most, see this T here? It stands for teaser. Because we're going to tease this son of a... We're going to tease Detroit down to win the game at a pick of -0.5. Detroit to win, and we will tease it with the Kansas City Chiefs up to +8.5 against the Buffalo Bills. So again, make me pick the game. We'll lay Detroit to win by a touchdown. But what do I really want to do? I want to tease Detroit, and I want to tease them with the Kansas City Chiefs. And we'll close. The game of the weekend, maybe, just maybe, the game of the year in the National Football League. The best rivalry in the NFL going right now. You can have your Ravens and Steelers, your Cowboys and Eagles. You can take the Packers and Bears, and you can shove it. This is the best rivalry going right now in the National Football League. Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills, Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs. As Buffalo not only looks to exorcise the demons of the early 90s, 4 straight Super Bowl losses, 25 to my Giants, 26 to the then 27 and 28 to the Dallas Cowboys. But they will look to exorcise the demons of a couple years ago, losing to Kansas City in Arrowhead in the AFC Championship game. 1 year after that, losing in the 13 seconds game to Kansas City in overtime in the divisional round. Buffalo's time to shine. They are getting Kansas City at home. Literally the first road playoff game, and Patrick Mahomes has played like 97 playoff games already. The first true road playoff game of his career, not including obviously neutral site Super Bowls. You idiots. We know the Super Bowl's played at a neutral site. The first actual true road game played by the great Patrick Mahomes. And for Kansas City, this has been an organization waiting for revenge since 1993, when Jim Kelly and the Bills took down Joe Montana and the Chiefs in the 93 AFC title game in Orchard Park. I'm just kidding. Kansas City, no way anyone gives a shit about that since they've won a couple of Super Bowls, but just saying that is a thing that happened. So the stakes are ridiculously high. Legacies are on the line, particularly for Josh Allen. And we get the Bills as almost a 3-point favorite in this game. Buffalo laying the 2.5, and the total is 45.5. Now I get it. I bet Miami last week, as Notorious B.I.G. would say, the weak and the strong, you had it going on. But you're dead wrong. I don't even know if I got the lyrics right. I haven't listened to that song in a really long time. But I was dead wrong on Saturday night. Mahomes looked awesome. Even though Travis Kelce, sometimes he looks like the old Travis Kelce, and sometimes he just looks like he's old Travis Kelce, unable to catch the ball. I mean, at some point you feel like some of these receivers may let down the Chiefs. But anyway, Mahomes looked great. The defense looked great. And now we all think, hashtag, same old Chiefs. Now, usually when we use that phrase in sports, same old, Mets, same old Jets, and I'm a New Yorker, so I'm giving the New York references here. It's not used in a good way. Same old Chiefs, though, that means the team's going to win the Super Bowl. And everyone's back aboard the Kansas City Chiefs bandwagon. This opened 3 and then was bet down to 2.5. And now that the number's at 2.5, you see all those wagons? You hear them? Those wagons in the distance. You know what they're doing? Those sons of bitches, they're circling. We've got the tables all lined up. Devon stopped by to drop them off. We're lighting them on fire, and we're jumping through them. We've got all our friends from the old world coming, the Bills Mafia. And we are all gonna stand together, arm in arm, in snowy Western New York, and cheer on the Buffalo Bills. It's time to slay the dragon. It's time to exorcise the demon in red in Kansas City. It's Buffalo's time to get back to the AFC Championship game and move one game closer to cashing our long shot futures that we placed about 2 months ago. Give me the Buffalo Bills. That's right. Josh Allen and the Bills with all the injuries on defense. And I'm going to tell you exactly how it's going to happen. I've actually got the script. There is no script. That's a joke. There's no script. But if there were, I've got it. Buffalo's going to be up by 3 points at the end of the game. Let's call it 4. Kansas City needs a touchdown to win the game. It's more dramatic. Kansas City will be driving at the end. And you know what's going to happen? The same, can I drop F-bombs? I won't. The same frickin' thing that happens when they played in the regular season. It's like Pinky and the Brain. Guess what we're going to do today, Brain? The same thing we always do. Drop passes at critical times that lead to big, heartbreaking losses. Here's what's going to happen. Mahomes is going to throw to anyone, I guess not Rashee Rice, who's good, to any other pass catcher on the team. And they will drop the ball because that's what they've done all year. We've only seen it happen 1,000 times. What's 1,001? The Buffalo Bills laying the 2.5 to advance to the AFC Championship game, likely against the Baltimore Ravens. But again, just to reiterate, also, you want to tease Kansas City up to plus 8.5. I don't think Buffalo's going to blow them out. So we could tease Kansas City with Detroit, and we will call it the 2023 NFL season opener memorial teaser. Kansas City and Detroit. Detroit to win, Kansas City plus 8.5. Chiefs lose by 7, you win your teaser. Sounds pretty good, doesn't it? And those are the best bets coming up for divisional weekend in the National Football League. Remember, download the BetMGM app. Visit BetMGM.com to get the best lines, the best futures prices, the best touchdown prices, all that good stuff. Get all those bets in at the king of sportsbook, BetMGM. We will talk to you next week here. Nick Kostos on the Board of Spreads for Championship Sunday in the NFL.